State your name and where you're from.
I'm Hank Shockley. I'm a producer.
I'm Sharuz. I'm a producer and DJ.
I'm a sonic architect. I'm a sound designer.
My name is Prince Board.
I'm based in London.
I'm part of the Black Eyed Peas entity.
And I've contributed towards the wonderful Reason 5.
Yeah.
Well, I got introduced to Reason. A friend of mine was kind of like he was producing, and he used Reason.
I first got introduced to Reason through a friend.
And he was producing all in the box.
And I was like, wow. Well, I mean, so I can just have headphones and my laptop and it sounds good? Whoa.
For people such as myself who go back maybe 10, 15 years to when we had a stack of boxes in the studio, it's amazing to see software sort of recreate that in a virtual sense.
Okay, this is ridiculous. I don't need my MPC anymore.
This is pretty cool. But the thing that kind of got me really into it was, to me, the Dr. Rex, because the Dr. Rex is the thing that can be anything.
Oh, Rex files. Crazy.
You could do some things that you couldn't do with the S900 or even with the SP1200, with Dr. Rex. And so to me, Dr. Rex became the kind of like thing. So I would just make tracks with just nothing but Dr. Rexes.
All hip-hop is real.
All the things that I was doing with Dr. Rex has become easier to do with Kong.
When I saw the initial sketches, the sort of prototype designs, I was like, wow, it's simple as hell. It's a drum machine, fantastic, it's exactly what I like. I mean, that's how I make my beats, with single hits, using that sort of, I sample a lot of stuff through the MPC 60 to get that sort of 12-bit grid. I don't really think it's ever been done properly as a plug-in, and I think Kong's as close as it gets to it, really.
I like using the basic stuff a lot of times. I like to use the factory stuff as it comes up and then freak it later. But the advantage to Kong is that you can freak it so many ways and have the same starting sound but end up with a sound that no one else in the world will come up with. I love that.
I call samples now raw data. So you can take your raw data now and beef them up with all these little things in there and make it something that's completely and uniquely yours.
Propellerhead called me and said, will you do something for this new secret thing that we have? Of course I said yes. I was like, whatever it is, I know it's going to be crazy dope, so let's do it.
Having the opportunity to get in there, put together a bunch of original hits for it, compose some loops using it, it's hugely exciting for me.
What I wanted to do was I wanted to create something that gave you a little bit of the old school, and I wanted to kind of like bring back like some of the sounds we were using back then, but update them today.
And they said, okay, well, there's a few things that we would like to get from you. We just wanted to get like this, this, and this. So I said, okay, I obliged. I gave them this, this, and this, and then some.
I think it was Christopher I was dealing with, Christopher Wallman. He laid out the basic plan for how the new edition of Reason was going to, the new features it was going to have, and he just asked me if I'd be interested in making a bunch of new content. Honestly, I think within those 16 pads, there's enough material there to create a really quite powerful drum loop.
This is, to me, is like reminiscent of one of the kicks that I would use back in the days. This would just be just a regular kick, just to start out the groove. This is more dirty. You can almost hear a track without even pretty much having to.
I went into 5 different studios on the road, around the world. Switzerland, Holland, Italy, just different places. Went in and tracked a bunch of stuff that I made into Rex files. In London, they had this great tack piano, and then it was offset from the mic, kind of way across the room. And the engineer tried to move the mics closer. And I was like, no, leave it exactly how it is.
To me, sound is everything.
I didn't want it to sound too perfect or too crazy. I just wanted it to sound unique.
I've never been one that looked for sound, because I think that if you go looking for it, it's too late.
I mean, if it makes me laugh, great. I'll just play a sound and say, you know what, this is really weird, but I like it, so I'm gonna do it.
For example, a crash, like that's not really a crash, it's a bit of white noise, but that fits really nicely in the context of the kit.
I even did a couple zipper things. I recorded my zipper up and down.
Well, it's a combination of drum loops, fills, one-shots, bass lines, percussion, horns, guitars. It allowed me to kind of like delve back into the days, but give it the sound and the power of today.
The quality of production is getting better and better. There's better EQs out there, there's better compressors. As a result, I think drum sounds and hits are starting to become more powerful. Music's really no longer about using those same cliched sounds, so I think it's important to move ahead of the curve.
As we've seen from version 1 to 2.53 and then 4 and then now the 5.0. It's only going to get better.
All the producers have come together to make sounds that complement each other really, really well, I think.
It's all these different things that you can use within your collection that gives your stuff ammunition.
I love some of these patches, not just mine, but some of the patches the other producers have done. I really like Adam Bayer's sounds in there as well. I'm a huge fan of his work, so I've been using a bunch of his presets.
I think that you have to put yourself into it now.
In the future, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, and I'm glad I don't know what, because that means that it's going to be something that's next.
You may come up with something totally different.